And I'll let you know when I see it pop up on our social media. Oh, can you make sure it's on John Edward Payton, because it got kicked off when we were doing the telethon yesterday. Is it on his and YouTube or for the show? Okay, perfect. All right, it looks like we are. Oh, they're always with me, Yoda and unicorns. Unicorns is a theme from mine and JP's radio days. It torments him that I'm almost 55 and I still like unicorns. And then, of course, Grogu, because the Mandalorian.
Live from Venture X Studios, it's JP, Kathy, and the crew.
Well, good morning. Welcome to the end of the week. I can't believe we've made it. We are so excited. Big show for us today. We have got the new Republican Party chairman, Abraham George, newly elected. I think this might be your first official interview.
It is. It
Yes.
really is. Yes.
Yes, I love that. He is in studio with us the entire time today. Of course, JP is traveling, was traveling. He's with his dad now. His dad is still in the hospital. So if you can, if the crew can put their hands together for Judge Payton, and please pray for his dad, Stan the man, as the crew lovingly refers to him. He has had some testing done, some good results. And then yesterday we found out during our second annual Veterans Telethon that he has a mass. Now they're just hoping it's some fat cells. They've removed it, but they are going to biopsy it. Just please pray for JP and for his dad and for the entire Payton family. Stan, we love you. We hope you get well soon. We want to see you back at home and making fun of all of us like you do so well. So we love y'all and just want y'all to know that you're definitely in our prayers. Speaking of the second annual JP, Kathy, and the crew Veterans Day Telethon, a huge day. My voice, I'm kind of a little hoarse because Chuck Wright and I talked all day yesterday. We love it. We had a blast. We had Ken Watterson from the Homeless Veterans Services of Dallas, who was with us all day. We had amazing veterans in studio that Zoomed in, raised money for the Homeless Veterans Services of Dallas. Fantastic organization. It's not too late to donate. As a matter of fact, Brett, I think they may still have the information up for the Homeless Veterans Services. I believe it's hvsd.org. Boy, I should have that memorized. I said it 92 times yesterday. So it is not too late to donate. This is a great organization. What we recommended yesterday was, unless you're doing like a big old ginormous one-time donation, which obviously we welcome, if you want to go in even $5 a month, and this helps homeless veterans get a shower, wash their clothes, have access to a computer so they can go in and get a job. Ken told us a story about a female veteran that just within the last 72 hours, she had contacted the Homeless Veterans Services of Dallas. She was suicidal. She now has a plan. They were able to save her life. She has a plan. She has hope. And what a blessing that is. So just very proud to be associated with them. I want to thank Chuck Wright and all of our veterans who participated yesterday. Just another successful Veterans Day Telethon, and we're looking forward to the third annual Veterans Day Telethon. So just good stuff all the way around. I am so excited to have with me Chairman Abraham George of the Republican Party of Collin County. How are you? First of all, congratulations.
Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that. Well, I'm doing great. And, you were our chairman a while back.
Way back in the day.
Not that way back, but
yeah, 2005 to 2008. So you've got better technology.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Well, and it is it is one of those jobs, and you and I talked, when you were considering running, and we also want to talk. You currently hold 2 Republican Party positions, so we're going to talk about that. But something you and I talked about, and I've gotten to know you. Actually, we first met at a prayer rally.
That's right.
We knew of
At
each
the
other, and we had kind
Hope
of seen
Center.
each other around. We were at the Hope Center and sat next to each other, at, ginormous audience, and we happened to sit next to each other. You were running for Parker City Council.
That's correct.
And I've just thought the world of you ever since. I know your heart. I know you're a man of faith. I know you're a conservative. And I know you're here to serve. You've got a servant's heart. And
I appreciate you saying that.
well, yeah, but it's all true. It's all true. And the position of Republican Party chairman, and we want to thank Mark Reed, who recently resigned, and we want to thank him for his service. It's not an easy gig, and for people who don't know this, and a lot of people don't know this, it is a $0 an hour job. You don't get paid for this position.
No, we don't. It's a 100% volunteer thing, but we love to do it.
Yeah, it's the love of the party. It's the love of all the Republican and conservative philosophies and ideals. So let's let the crew get to know you a little bit better. First of all, tell us about your family. And by the way, love your wife. She is delightful and such an amazing lady. So tell us about your family, about what you do, what's your paying job, because the paying job supports your political habit.
That's right. Well, I am married. My wife, Gina, she works at Baylor Plano, actually, and she's a nurse.
And God bless her. God bless her.
And we've got two kids, Sarah, a 12-year-old, and Abel, 7-year-old boy. So, yeah, that's our family. We live in Parker, and I do hold two positions in Republican Party at this point, but maybe for another month or so.
So let's talk about that. You currently, before you became the Republican Party chairman, which literally this special election, which was held by the precinct chairs, just happened Monday night. You have been serving, and talk about when you got elected, and talk about what the state Republican Executive Committee does.
Well, so in the state of Texas, we have 31 Senate districts, right? So each Senate district gets a committee man and a committee woman elected to the board of Republican Party's state committee. And we pretty much run the party along with our chairman and the vice chair, run the budget, do all the programs, build all the programs, especially victory efforts. In 2022, we have our big victory effort that's coming up. Yeah.
Right. And then there's a committee man and a committee woman.
That's right.
For each of the senatorial districts, correct?
And for us, it's Maggie Witt.
Yes, delightful lady, a very feisty patriot. We love Maggie. We love Maggie. She is feisty. She's tiny, but she's feisty. Yeah.
She gets stuff done.
Yes, I wouldn't want to be on the wrong side of an issue with her. Yeah. Let's just say that. So talk about how often does the state Republican Executive Committee meet? So where do y'all meet?
Well, we meet every quarter officially, but we have, with the Zoom and all of that, we have Zoom calls almost every other week. Different committees meet. There are other things going on. The convention is coming up. It's in June of 2022. It will be in Houston, so we're working on that. This time it will be an in-person convention, so that's coming around.
Yes.
So yeah, we're actually going to get to have fun and go to Houston and hang out with all the other patriots and have a wonderful convention. So that's happening. So officially about 3 months or so we meet, and then the rest of the stuff is through the Zoom and all of that stuff. And yeah, it's coming along pretty good.
Well, and it's a lot of work. You're a humble individual, so you're not going to brag about this, but let's talk about the hours that go into being state Republican Executive Committee man when it comes to travel. And you make the rounds at the local clubs in Collin County. You go to the executive committee meetings and fill them in. So talk about the time commitment. And again, how much are you getting paid for this job?
Well, that
Zero.
one. Yeah. Actually, I think the SREC job has a lot more expense than a county chair job, honestly, because you got to raise funds for the party. If you're part of Legislative Priorities Committee, which I was, you get to travel to Austin during session to testify, to lobby for our bills, and to meet with other SREC members to strategize and things like that.
Right.
Then on top of that, a lot of the SREC members go around the state speaking on certain items or certain priorities that they wanted to promote. During the convention, we take our 8 priorities or 10 priorities, and this time we did the same thing. And 2020 we did the same thing. So during the 2021 session, SREC members were traveling all over the state, asking people to show up at the Austin for the legislative session to, lobby and testify and all of that stuff. It was fun.
Right. And again, both the Republican Party chairman position, a lot of time commitment, obviously, for that. But you don't have as much travel to Austin and around the state as you do in your current position.
That's correct. So I think this is more time consuming. The other one is more time consuming in travel
on the road.
So, on the road, yeah. So this is I've been in the office the last 4 days almost full time. So this is fun. And
I love it. And we had and we'll talk about this in a little while. We've got a gubernatorial debate coming up.
That is correct.
That and this is going to be, and I'll let you tell the details about that here in just a little while. But big undertaking. We've got multi-counties involved, but the Collin County Republican Party has taken the lead on this. And we've got a number of the candidates who are going to be debating each other. Yep. We also have, and this is what I love and I can't wait to participate in, we've got a straw poll that we're going to be doing. So
it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. So let's talk about, are you going to serve? Because I know around the state, I remember back when I was Republican Party chairman, there were a number of party chairmen who also served as SREC committee man or committee woman. What have you decided about holding both positions?
Well, I think Collin County needs someone full time, pretty much. So I'm going to resign effective December 3rd. So on the 4th, we have an SREC committee, and they can choose the next SREC member from Senate District 8. Yeah.
Okay. Well, and again, I think obviously, certainly, you can serve in both capacities. I think the fact that you are choosing to step down. We've got an amazing group of folks who are interested in serving that position. So let other leaders step up, be trained, and be part of the Keep Texas Red.
Yeah, we got a lot of talent in Collin County.
We do. Yeah.
SD8 now, but it's more than Collin County these days. But we got plenty of people interested in this, and almost every one of them that I spoke to, it's just amazing patriots, and they will do a great job.
I love it. Well, and we're so excited to have you as our chairman. The reason I mentioned that you've already been hard at work, you were on a Zoom call with us last night, those of us who are helping plan this gubernatorial debate, and I'm just like, the whole time I'm like, yes, this is great, because you're already on top of this. You're already jumping on top of this with lots of enthusiasm. You've already looked into the budget. You've done a lot of prep work running, and now in the last almost 5 days that you've been chairman.
Yeah, almost 5 days. Yeah. Well, we have a huge year ahead of us. 2022 is going to be one of the toughest and most exciting years that we're going to face. So, we've got a lot of work. So, a lot of prep work, a lot of excitement.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that the Republican Party, especially here locally in Collin County, and I know you wholeheartedly support our veterans. So we've got Chuck Wright, who co-hosted the JP, Kathy, and the crew telethon with me yesterday, a Veterans Day telethon. He's hopping on for a few minutes because we are going to be promoting, and Brett, if we can switch out the donate at the top and put Wreaths Across America, put their website up there. Chuck Wright, I believe he's in the waiting room. Is he ready to come on screen? Excellent. There is Chuck. How are you this morning?
Hey, my friend. How are you doing? I want to move so my sword isn't popping out of either side of my head.
There you go. It looks like, the Steve Martin arrow through your head kind of a thing.
Yes, indeed.
Well, Chuck, first of all,
that's not a great look.
That's a fun look. Well, hey, Chuck, first of all, I want to say thank you so much. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate you. with your efforts yesterday for our Veterans Day telethon. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is another, you you're a veteran, and thank you for your service, and happy birthday, Marine. I know you're going to be emceeing the Marine Ball this Saturday. Can't wait to see you there. But you are involved in so many veterans efforts across Collin County, Frisco, North Texas, and the state of Texas. I know this is one of the ones you're the most passionate about. So tell us about Wreaths Across America, because you're making one last push. We're getting to the deadline as far as raising funds for the Wreaths. So let's talk about what it is, what your ask is to the crew today.
So the motto is remember, honor, and teach. We want to remember the sacrifices that all of our veterans made, honor their service, but probably the most important, teach our children and grandchildren. And what this program does, and it is not just nationwide, it is international. And on the 18th of December, we are going to lay wreaths at the gravesides of our veterans at DFW National Cemetery. And there is also a program at the large cemetery at McKinney. And I think there's a couple of other in the DFW, very much they're smaller. But our efforts are designed to try to cover the over 45,000 veterans that are interred at DFW National Cemetery. The deadline is the 30th of November. So we are rapidly coming up on that deadline. And the bad news is we are not even halfway there this year. So we are kind of really pushing.
Okay, well then we may have you back. We may have you back on again. Just even for a 5-minute plug next week on the show as well, because we've got to make sure that we get these wreaths. So, what can people do if somebody is watching right now? What can they do to help with this effort?
So the wreath, sponsoring a wreath is only $15. It's a fairly small donation sponsorship. You can go to dfwwreaths.com, 2 W's, dfwwreaths.com, or you can go to same name, DFW Wreaths Facebook page, either one of those, and you will find the link on the DFW page. Right there, pops right up, is the sponsor a wreath here, and it will take you to the national site, and that national site is coded to DFW. And sponsor a wreath. It's $15. It's for a great cause. Now, the other thing people can do, on the 18th, you are welcome to come out and join us. We have thousands of volunteers that will come out to actually lay the wreaths. And we welcome your participation. And full disclosure, we do not expect you to have to, if you don't want to sponsor a wreath, we understand, but that doesn't mean you're not welcome to come out.
Absolutely.
We ask you to take a moment, read the headstone, read it aloud, and you will be amazed at the information that's on that page. Bring a child or a grandchild. Talk to them about the sacrifices that our veterans have made. Talk to them about what they do to protect our values and protect our freedoms, and not just ours. More than half of the world today is self-governed. They have some form of a true democracy. So, you know what, not to go political, but Iran doesn't count. They don't have real elections.
Okay, not to go political, but we do have the new Republican Party chairman here in studio. And then in 15 minutes, we have Senator Paxton coming on. So we are kind of political today, so it's okay.
we are doing a little political. So
yesterday, yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
Hey, and listen, if you want to put an email out to give us a little help to promote this, we'd appreciate it. And please tell the absolutely lovely and incredible singer, Senator Angela Paxton, that I said hello.
We will.
We were talking about her yesterday and the wonderful job she's doing. And to let you get back to all of these other much more important than I am guests, dfwreaths.com or DFW Facebook page. Please consider sponsoring a $15 wreath honoring a veteran. And Kathy, I can't begin to tell you how much fun I had yesterday. We had an absolute blast. Is it Veterans Day 2022? Let's do this again.
We're ready. Great. We're ready. I tell you what, we're ready for the 3rd annual telethon. And again, thank you so much. Was talking earlier about all the great things that the Homeless Veteran Services of Dallas provides. Ken Watterson, God bless him, a Vietnam vet who has come back. And here's the thing. He does not get paid for his gig. All of the fundraising you do not get paid for any of that. This is all out of the kindness of your heart. So those donations truly go right to those homeless veterans, and that's just good stuff. Well, let's have you plug Wreaths Across America one more time, and then actually I'm going to introduce you guys via text after the show, because I think there's, I know Abraham George, Chairman George, as he is now. Chairman George is very big supporter of the military, and our veterans. So he may want to put this out on an email.
That's who won. Oh my God! Yes, I love Chuck. Chairman George. He's awesome.
All right, my friend. Well, so Wreaths Across America. How do people get a wreath? How do they sponsor it? How do they volunteer?
DFWWreaths.com to sponsor a $15 wreath. And if you're going to show up on the 18th, you are welcome. Please be there by 9 or 9:30. Parking is a bit of a nightmare out there. I will be there about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning to secure my parking place. But Travis and I work every year as section captains. I didn't even get to tell that story yesterday, but that's kind of how we started volunteering with a group of veteran service organizations. Tradition we probably need to ramp back up this year. But Godspeed everybody this morning. DFWWreaths.com, and thank you, Kathy, so much for having me on. Chairman George, keep up the good work.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. Thanks so much, Chuck Wright, just a stellar individual, the co-host of Kilroy's Conversation every Saturday morning here on JPK Broadcasting Network. Wreaths Across America, I've gone out and I've actually done where you place the wreaths, and I tell you, I dare you to keep a dry eye when you read the names of these fallen soldiers, and you honor and remember them. And then, you go on to teach the next generation, because we don't want to miss teaching pride and service to country and honoring our veterans to this next generation.
Amen.
Yeah, and so we've got... let's go ahead and let's get right into the debate.
Right.
We've got a gubernatorial debate. We have, if you can tell us about the candidates, the time, how do we sign up, and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is going to take place on Saturday, November 27th. Doors open at 9 a.m. and we begin at 10 a.m. It will be at the Frisco Embassy Suites. We have currently 3 candidates confirmed, which is Alan West, Don Huffines, and Chad Prather. And as normal, the sitting governor doesn't really come out to do debates because he has a record that he can speak for himself.
Exactly. So that's by no means any kind of slight or anything like that. This is typical. You have the people who are vying for the new position, right. And what I like about this, Terry Wade initiated this idea and has put together a great team of folks who are really working hard on this debate. There's going to be a straw poll. So when you come in, if you're, some people are like, well, if Governor Abbott is not there, can I still support him in the straw poll? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The great thing and John Montez is, if I can do it and I don't need, one of my kids to help me out on the technology, it's user friendly.
Yeah.
But you just swipe and
right.
You'll be able to vote, and we're going to announce the winner of our straw poll that day. Mm-hmm. Are there some other counties involved in this as well?
There are. I mean, we are working with Denton, Grayson, a few other counties around the Dallas.
Hunt, I think, was one of them was added.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Come out. Well,
Yeah.
a cost to precinct chairs, cost
Precinct
to
chairs
just Joe
is,
Public.
Yeah, precinct chairs there is no cost.
Excellent.
And for general public, we're asking for about $10 of donation. But,
Oh, okay.
It's not.
So I mean, to go out and to be around like-minded people,
Yeah.
to see, to see a, this is a statewide, gubernatorial
That's
debate.
right.
This is the kickoff of 2022.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's probably the only one in North Texas.
Yeah, I haven't heard of anything else
That's
like
right.
this around this area.
Yeah.
So, come out, have some fun. Support the effort. $10. How do people sign up?
They can go to collincountygop.org
Okay.
and sign up there, or go to our Facebook and click on the gubernatorial debate, and it
Okay.
has a link up there as well. It's just simple. Just put your name, address,
Perfect.
and that's about it.
Love it.
Yeah.
And I think there are still volunteer opportunities available.
There
What are things that people can do? And then let's take that and move into, as chairman, what is your vision, and what kind of volunteer opportunities are there going to be for those of us, we the people, who right now, rightfully so, are extremely frustrated, or extremely upset, and extremely concerned
Yes.
about our country?
Yes. So since November of last year, we've had appointed more than 100 precinct chairs. That is that's unheard of, because
That's
it's-
amazing.
It's hard to get precinct chairs to work for any party. But over 100 precinct chairs, and we have about
That's in
14.
addition to the precinct
It's
chairs you already had.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
correct. So we have like 14 or 15 in training now. They go through basic training on what is a precinct chair and what they need to do and things like that. So it's an exciting time. There is a bunch of people who signed up for volunteer or to be precinct chair if they can, because they already have a precinct chair. So we're asking for any volunteer, anybody who wants to volunteer, to come out and sign up at collincountygop.org, and we will plug you in somewhere where you're excited to serve.
Yeah.
There are committees, there are a ton of stuff to do.
There really is. There's a couple of different annual fundraisers. So
Yep.
if that's what you like, get out the vote. We'll be building a Victory 22 committee. As a matter of fact, in a little while, we're going to have Senator Angela Paxton on, and she and I co-chaired Victory 2020 together. And it was a blast. Even with the pandemic, we still had a great time. And, you heard stories about people registering new voters who have moved into the state. And, gosh, I remember knocking on the door of a person who had moved in from California, and they were like, I don't care what party you're with. If you're the ones keeping this house, they're like, I could have never afforded this home in
That's correct.
California.
That is
And they're
correct.
like, so where do I sign up? What do I do? And they were there with bells on.
Yes.
So
we have, people say Californians are moving into Texas and making a mess, but honestly, most of the people who are moving in are conservatives, they're Republicans. They want to keep Texas the way it is, and they love it. The whole reason they moved. I'm not talking about everyone, but most of the people are.
there are a few
Yes.
that came here blue, and they.
Right.
I guess they prefer a state income tax. I don't know. They came from the land of granola and taxes. God bless them. Maybe they still like that. But
Yeah.
you're right. Our experience at the GOP headquarters, even when we had Trump trains and, we had people coming out and knocking on doors for Victory 2020, you were up there.
Yeah.
And there were people who were like, it's like they're like, I feel like I've died and gone to heaven. This is
That's right.
amazing,
That's right. No income tax on state.
Yeah.
There's very low living expenses compared to California. This is an amazing place to be. Even with all the stuff we have going on in our country, Texas is still an amazing place to be.
It is. And that's the thing. We want to keep this bubble, and this is something that I know you're pushing as Republican Party chairman, and that is keep Texas red. Keep Texas strong. Keep Texas we the people. Keep Texas safe. We've got to work hard to protect ourselves. Not only do we have the effort of winning back the House, winning a large majority in the Senate. We've got a lot of work to do. But we see what happened in Virginia. My goodness, we see what happened in New Jersey. So
Right.
When you saw those results as a party leader, when you saw Virginia and the results that they had, what was your reaction?
Well, this is just a frustration from people. I mean, this is not about one party or the other anymore. It's about people just want to survive in a country where we are having so much trouble. I mean, gas prices doubled almost.
Oh my gosh.
Our shelves are empty, and there is so much trouble in our country, and this all happened in the last 10 months. And it wasn't
It
like
hasn't
5
even been a year.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So there is no way Republicans are going to lose in the next in 2022.
Yeah.
We have to do that. I mean, we cannot screw this up. There is, I mean, even if we try.
Please, no, we do not. Yes, we are advocating not screwing this up.
Right,
well,
but-
which means we're going to have to work together.
Yes.
And I know you've got a big message of unity. So let's talk for somebody who has not had a chance to meet you yet. And how can they get in touch with you? How can they follow you if they want to grab coffee with you or come up to headquarters and visit with you? First of all, how do they get in touch with you? And then what drove you to get so involved in the Republican Party and follow your heart as a servant leader?
Well, I honestly started in 2008 when President Obama got elected. And during that campaign, there was a huge message that they was gone out. Anybody who is not supporting and is a minority, they don't understand. So there was a message about me being a minority. There was you have to support President Obama. I mean Obama at that time, Senator Obama at that time. And I said no, I don't agree with the policies. I don't agree with any of the things that he's saying. So that's how I reached out to Dallas County GOP at that time and said, okay, I would like to come and help in any way possible. And they said, well, we need a lot of block walkers and phone bangers. And so that's how it got started in the beginning. And recently, I've seen after President Trump has built our country back, and these days we can only imagine if he would have been president one more term, where we would have been. We wouldn't have this mess, but unfortunately, we are at a mess.
Well, and here's the thing, and Abraham, you and I, Chairman George. You and I stand corrected. But you and I have talked about this. In less than a year, and literally there are things like what's happening on the border, which is horrific. Drugs, like we've never seen. Opioids, fentanyl. Fentanyl had went from $50 to 15. So literally kids can buy it with their lunch money. I mean, it's horrific. Sex trafficking, all of the things, crime. We're having mandates put on us for masks and vaccines and all this kind of stuff from the federal government. But everybody coming over, hey, if you come over and you're separated from your family, what do you get?
$450,000. Yes.
My goodness.
Our veterans are having trouble finding a meal for a day. And we're giving out $450,000 to illegal immigrants, and it's
unreal.
You can't make up this kind of stuff.
I keep saying that you literally stole my line. I keep saying you can't make this up, and all Biden had to do, all the current administration had to do, was just keep things the way that President Trump keep what he had put into place.
Yeah.
Look at Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
Would that have ever happened under President Trump's watch?
No, it wouldn't have. I mean, he didn't listen to any of his military leaders. He didn't listen to anybody with any strategy in the military side. He listened to his political advisors and pulled it and
the squad.
Yeah, and the squad. It just
As
made
I roll
the
my
worst
eyes.
mess we ever had.
Yeah. It's horrible. So it is up to us, and you can make a difference.
Yes.
I mean, look at the difference you've made since you've been involved. Don't you feel like at least your voice is heard? At least you're part of the process?
Yes, absolutely. And 2022 will be a perfect opportunity for anyone who wants to join the party, or even if you don't want to join the party, you just want to talk to your neighbors about, hey, this is not the way our country is supposed to run. Yeah. That will make huge difference, and I think that's the difference that took place in Virginia and in New Jersey. And, a truck driver with $240.
I know. You
won a
gotta love
Senate
it.
race. Yeah.
Well, because we, the people, are frustrated. I was just at the grocery store yesterday, and I'm telling you, it was almost $20. And I'm a creature of habit, buy mostly the same stuff, every week. And again, and this is again every week, it's jumping. The price is jumping. And then my car had been in the shop, so I had to borrow my mom's car, which is an SUV. Oh, and usually you don't think about going to the gas station, or at least, 10 months ago I didn't.
Right.
Now I'm like, oh, I have to go get gas.
Yeah. It was $149, and it's $3 and something now. I mean, literally doubled in 10 months.
And,
So-
and then people have, and then we've got all of the, my goodness, we're going to have you back on to just talk about things like, well, the airlines right now.
Mm-hmm.
And, and OSHA's mandate. And then if the TSA says, okay, y'all all have to be vaccinated, which again, if you want to be vaccinated and you and your doctor and your family think that's best,
That's fine.
more power
Absolutely.
to you. That's,
yeah.
I need to it reminds me, I need to go get the shingles vaccination. Okay, I need to go get, the vaccination for pneumonia.
Right.
But we were never told you have to get the flu shot. And all of a sudden, now we're saying, okay, and get your little bitty kids, get your toddlers vaccinated. Since when has the government been allowed, the federal government, been allowed to tell us what to do with our own bodies?
Exactly. It breaks every possible clause in the Constitution,
Yes.
and goes against our freedom. I mean, I am absolutely in favor of vaccination. Anybody who wants to take it.
Right.
I haven't taken it because that's my right to do so.
Exactly.
My wife wants to take it, let her take it. It's fine.
Right.
There is no problem with anybody taking it or not taking it. The problem is government telling us what to do with it.
Exactly.
So that is our problem, not the
Exactly.
vaccination itself.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole vaccination program actually took place and got through the approval process during Trump administration. So nobody's against the vaccination. It's just someone mandating the vaccination is our problem, right?
Right. And that's the thing. I just and I know you and I are preaching to the choir with each other and with our conservative friends. Where does it stop? Okay, then, and people are in fear of losing their jobs. I was talking about a friend of mine who works from home, but the woke company that he works for was like, you've been here for 10 years, stellar service. If you aren't vaccinated, you will be fired. So then Governor Abbott came in and at least stopped it for the Texas portion. In the meantime, he had gone through First Liberty and downloaded their form. First Liberty, great organization, and was able to, with following the rules and following the steps on their website, was able to get a religious exemption. But then they sent him an email the other day, and I'm like, okay, how does this work? So it said, okay, well, because you're in Texas, we're going to go ahead and accept your religious exemption for now. We're going to revisit that in May. And I asked my friend, I said, are you going to change your religious beliefs by May? And he's like, no. And I said, and you still work from home, right? So, but then he said, you know what? Every so often we get together and we have a company meeting or a company, like a team building activity. Well, he's been banned from those.
Oh, yeah.
10 years with his company, and now because he won't take that vaccine, okay, they'll allow him to work from home.
Yeah.
And also, he had COVID. He went to his doctor, got tested. His antibodies are off the charts. I mean, like literally, I've got him on speed dial. If anybody in my family gets COVID, whatever you can donate, like platelets or I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, give us some of your antibodies.
Yeah.
Help me with this.
Yeah.
Help me, Abraham.
Well, the interesting thing, I was talking to a friend of mine recently, as in last week, his company had separated all the vaccinated people into one room and all the unvaccinated people to another room now. And the unvaccinated have to take a test on a daily basis to enter the workplace. It has gone, world has gone mad. It's just amazing this multi-billion-dollar corporations are run with this kind of stupidity in their corporate management. Yeah. But that's where we are at in 2021.
It's just it again, like you said earlier, you can't make this up. Well, we've got somebody who would like to congratulate you, who is here via Zoom today, Senator Angela Paxton. Do we have your beautiful face getting ready to pop up on the screen? Oh, she's connecting right now. So we've got Angela Paxton, who is the senator for Senatorial District 8, which is actually the SREC committee man position. You represent her district.
That's right.
At the Republican Party of Texas level. So, well, you do for now.
Yes.
Now you're our county party chairman for one more month. There you go. You're double duty for a month.
Yeah.
And Brett, if you'll let us know when we've got Senator Paxton. I think I hear.
Ooh, I look like I'm upside.
I think you're sideways.
Look like I'm upside down.
I think there you go.
See if I can fix this. Okay.
Oh, good morning, Senator Paxton.
Hey, hanging from the ceiling here, right? What an exciting day. Hey, Abraham, congratulations to you. I'm thrilled about your new position with the Collin County Party, and I could hear a little bit of your conversation with Kathy as I was hanging from my ceiling here.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being here.
Oh no, I'm glad to be here, and glad to be here with you. And Kathy, how's everything?
It's going well. We had our second annual JP, Kathy and the Crew Veterans Day Telethon yesterday, and we're able to raise money for homeless veterans in Dallas. So very excited about that, and just super excited to talk with you. You know, you and I served as co-chairs for Collin County GOP for Victory 2020. Now we have our new chairman who's already talking about Victory 2022. And I know you've got some strong thoughts on moving forward as a party, party unity, we the people coming together. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of the times when I think the actual structure of the party is most visible at the place that we are in, because in the timeline, I guess, of the election cycle, every 2 years, right, we have candidates who are on the ballot, and many people are very aware about voting in November in the general election when they have a Republican and a Democrat, maybe a Libertarian to choose from. But many people are not aware of actually how did those people get on the ballot? And that's kind of where we are in the process right now. We're about to head into the primary season. And the primary in Texas, at least for now, is scheduled to be on March the 1st. That's a Tuesday. And the primary election is really, really important. The primary is where the different parties, the Democrat Party, the Republican Party, the Libertarians, choose the candidate that they want on the ballot in November. And the way that happens is there is actually an election in March called the primary. It is basically undergirded by the parties themselves. And I'll let Abraham kind of talk a little bit more about that. But, there will be Republicans running against Republicans, Democrats running against Democrats. In Texas, we have what's called an open primary. You don't have to say, here, I prove I'm a Democrat, I prove I'm a Republican, and that's how I vote. That's the primary I vote in. You can vote in whatever primary you want to. And actually, historically, we've had situations where people who affiliate with the Democratic Party cross over and they choose to vote in the Republican primary and vice versa in order to influence which candidate goes on the ballot in the primary ballot. But what you're going to see for the next few months, you're going to see Republicans running against Republicans, Democrats running against Democrats, Libertarians running against Libertarians. And all of that is to culminate in the March 1st election, where the people of Texas in their respective districts will determine which candidate they choose to represent them against the opposing parties in the general election. And so with that, I guess the only other thing I would say is filing opens tomorrow for the primaries. And so that's one of the things on my checklist is to finish my paperwork as a candidate for Senate District 8 to basically file with the state party, not the county party, but with the state party in Austin to make sure that my name is on the ballot for the primary election in March. So, Abraham, I guess you could maybe talk a little bit more about the role of the party
Absolutely.
in the place that we're at.
Yeah, so we, like you said, the primary as of now, it's on March 1st, and Republicans, they get to choose who they wanted to represent in the November elections, and so does Democrats, and it's an exciting time. People wanted to choose who do they, they wanted to figure out who they wanted as their elected official in the next term. We have, governor's race. We have, Ken Paxton, your husband, is running, and so there's a lot of high profile primaries happening this year, and I think we're gonna come out strong. We're gonna have good candidates. We're gonna have strong candidates, and we're gonna win the 2022 election. That's for sure.
Well, I think that's Kathy. You mentioned about the idea of unity that you and I've talked a lot about, and right now is people aren't going to necessarily probably think they're probably going to go, why are all the Republicans fighting against each other? And I think what we're dealing with right now, the period of time we're in right now, is choosing which Republican do we want for each of these races. And Abraham is so right. There are very high profile races this time. Part of that is because actually the reality is literally everyone is on the ballot because we're at the beginning of a new redistricting period. We just completed redistricting. I know everyone heard a lot about that as we were going through it. We drew new congressional lines. We drew new Senate districts, new House districts, new State Board of Education districts. And all of our statewide are on the ballot: governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, land commissioner, agriculture commissioner, all the way down. All the statewide, railroad commission, everyone's on the ballot this time because we're at the beginning of redistricting period, and we are going to choose which Republicans we want to represent us. And I guess the thing that the downside of this is sometimes what ends up happening is in all of the passion and flurry around who people are supporting, that they move off of issues and they move into areas. And I experienced this in my primary. I had a pretty nasty primary. I tried to keep it on the issues, but you know what? I had an opponent who in my primary tried to create a lot of baggage for me that I ended up having to deal with in my general election. And it was false, and I was able to combat it. But I think what I would just encourage people to do is run hard for your candidate, but support them for the reasons that it matters. Don't stoop to the low rumor mill bashing that happens that hurts whoever wins. It hurts them in the general election, because remember, everything we do now is something that our opponents will use against our candidates in the general election. So, actually, Ronald Reagan is well known for his famous 11th commandment. And Abraham or Kathy, I don't know, do you remember his 11th commandment?
Yeah, the 80-20 rule, right?
Well,
are you talking about do you not speak ill of your fellow Republicans? No. Yeah. Now the 80-20 rule, that's a whole nother topic. That's another great Reagan quote. But yeah, the 11th commandment, we've gotten away from it. And if we want to keep Texas red in particular, I mean, look at all the money the Democrats are putting into our state, my goodness, look how much money they put into Collin County. And it was money from California and New York and D.C. We've got to make sure that we can still be strong come November of 2022.
Well, and I think one of the things that part of how I think about it is that the primaries are kind of the family squabble, right?
Yep.
They're in the family, right? And we need to remember that we are in the family. And so sometimes there are questions that need to be asked. My advice would be, if you do have like personal questions about individuals or whatever, instead of fighting that out on Facebook, that if it's just a rumor, I think the place to do that is to follow the scriptural admonition that we have in Matthew 18, which is the first thing you do is you go to that person. So, if you're hearing something about a candidate that you're like, oh my gosh, what a horrible person, or did they really do that? You can fight it out on Facebook, and just, the allegation of something that sounds unseemly or whatever, you can fight that way. I think that the way of integrity really is to go to that person, go to their campaign directly. And you know what? If it's true, then it may be something that needs to be addressed publicly, because it may be a distinction between candidates. But I think that what we have to remember is the long game in this. The long game is we need to win in November, and we've got a very clear-cut distinction between Republican and Democrat right now. And
yes,
what we are fighting to win is the Republican policies in contrast with a party which holds the White House right now, the Biden administration, which is increasing gas prices, which is tanking our economy, which is removing personal freedom, which is allowing an open border to just flood and overwhelm our economic, healthcare systems, education systems. It is clear who our enemy is. So in the family squabble, let's be healthy and let's find the right people who can win in November. But let's also remember that at the end of the day, we're going to be family, and we're going to unite behind our Republican candidates.
Absolutely. Well, Senator Paxton, thank you so much for coming on for a special edition today so you could congratulate our new Republican Party chairman. I know you and I were texting back and forth, and we're just thrilled that he won this special election, and just so grateful that you were able to come on and give him a big old congratulations.
Thank you. And Abraham, we all, what is it? We all, I think it was Benjamin Franklin who said, we must all stand together or we'll all hang separately.
That's right.
And, I think I've just been so proud and so pleased to work with you as you've served so faithfully as SREC for our district. And I'm looking forward to working with you in this new role. I think you're already a star in my book, and you'll just continue to do that. So thanks so much for your faithful service.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Senator. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend. Senator Angela Paxton of Senatorial District 8. Of course, she updated us all throughout I would say the session. I need to say sessions because she was also on every special session to report to the crew what was going on. So Chairman George, and again, congratulations. Just, any way I can help you, any way we can help you promote things you need to on the show, we're thrilled to help. Gubernatorial debate is the next big event. So
right.
how do people find out about it?
So
when is it? All that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, November 27th. We start at 9 a.m. Well, actually, the doors open at 9 a.m. and we start the debate at 10 a.m. It's at the Embassy Suites in Frisco. And the way to sign up for it, to volunteer or to attend or to sponsor, is by going to collincountygop.org. Or to one of our social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of those things. It's all Collin GOP. That's the handle for all of our social media sites. And, it will be Alan West, Don Huffines, and Chad Prather. And we will have a straw poll. That's the exciting part. And
you get to vote. You get to vote early and often.
Right. That's right. That is right. And we will include Governor Abbott's name into the poll, so that anyone who wants to support him, that'll be wonderful to see that. Yes.
Yep, absolutely. So that's going to be an exciting time. Seats are filling up fast. We're over. I mean, my goodness, this is the Saturday after Thanksgiving. If you've got family in town, we've got a number of folks who are making this kind of turning it into a little family event. Get out, come out. Be around. It's so encouraging to be around like-minded people and people who believe in the Constitution, who believe in individual liberties, and who believe in freedom. And it does your heart and soul good to be around folks like that.
It does. Yeah. And we have people coming from other areas of Texas and out of state, family members showing up and all kinds of stuff. That this is going to be an exciting event for North Texas.
Very exciting. And you'll be there. So if people want a chance
yes.
to meet you
Absolutely.
live in person, they can meet you there. Let's talk about if people want to get in touch with you, if somebody's interested in learning more about, well, how do I get involved as a precinct chair? I'm not so sure if I want to do this. I mean, how do they reach out to you?
The best way to do it is either make a call to the Collin County GOP's headquarters or just show up. We are open most of the time. We start around, the official open time is at 10 o'clock, but we are open by 8 o'clock these days. We got a lot of stuff going on, and we are open on Saturdays now. Tomorrow it's the first day of filing. Neil will be there, our executive director, and he's going to be taking in all the filings. And if anyone wants to come by and say hello, we'll welcome. I'll be there as well.
That's fantastic. And the filing deadline for candidates?
I believe it's December 18th.
I was going to say, I know it's coming up in December, so
right.
we'll and again, if you want to run for office, if you want to run for precinct chairman, if you want to come up and be a volunteer, it's so easy that, there are opportunities now, Abraham, where literally you can get the information downloaded to your phone, and you're basically kind of pushing a button and helping push these phone calls out to typical Republican voters. You
right.
can get a friendly list, or I always like to take the challenging precincts and knock on those doors. Somebody's like undecided, because I like the challenge of telling somebody, hey, don't you want to be able to protect your family? Don't you want local control of your government? But there's jobs where you can just, there's anything. Knock on doors, make phone calls, help put together yard signs, and in all ages too.
That's right. So we have some young people helping out with the yard signs, putting up big signs up, and all of that stuff. We have people block walking, and we need people on social media promoting some of these things.
Yes.
And so we've taken every version of every talent we can possibly get and use it for good. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to have the gubernatorial debate. Then after that, it's going to be the a lot of phone banging from headquarters, asking for the new movers to Texas to come and register to vote and things like that. So there's a lot of stuff happening in headquarters.
Just lots to do. Okay, so we're gonna I'm gonna throw this question out to you. You were just elected on Monday evening. What would you say as part of your vision, part of your plan for the Collin County Republican Party? And there's a lot of pressure on Collin County because we have to overperform for some of the counties that, we'll just say, underperform when it comes to Republican voters. What would you say is the most important part of your vision as chairman right now?
Well, at this moment in time, I think Republicans coming together as one and working for the party, working and standing up for our principles, not for people, for our principles, will be the most important thing, because, especially we have with all the primaries. After the primaries, whoever wins, the party has to get behind that person. It doesn't matter who that person is. If you support them in the primary or not, we're going to get behind that person, and that's who will be our candidate, our Republican candidate for November, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that person wins. So party unity, bringing together people and getting everyone out there to do something will be the biggest thing. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Again, congratulations, Chairman Abraham George, brand new chairman of the Collin County Republican Party. Honored to be serving with you, sir, and thank you so much for your service already and your continued service and your service in the future. We really appreciate you.
Appreciate that. Thank you for having me here today.
All right. Well, take care.
All right.
Everybody have a blessed and wonderful weekend. Get out there and make a difference. Let your voice be heard. And a way to do that is get in touch with our friend, Chairman of the Collin County Republican Party, Abraham George. Thank you to Chuck Wright for being on. Would love for you to go on DFW Wreaths Across America. buy a wreath, go out there and participate. You will not regret. You will not regret it. And then thank you to Senator Angela Paxton for her congratulatory message for Chairman Abraham George. Y'all have a blessed weekend, and we will see you on Monday.